Well, first for both players, how has it been both physically and emotionally through this week to getting you to today?
Steph, you want to start?
Yeah. I mean, just like I'm sure everybody in the league, it's been taxing, physically and emotionally, mentally trying to keep it together, and also knowing we still have to come out and play basketball. But having the opportunity to still use our voice and our platform, I think was the main goal as far as just taking a day to kind of rest, recharge, and figure out a plan. I think that measures for us and made us feel comfortable with moving forward and keep playing and continue these games, knowing that we can still use our platform in the right way.
Kennedy, anything to add?
Yeah, I've been feeling like kind of mixed emotions as well. So like I kind of wrote down like how I've been feeling, and yeah, I have it here on my phone, so I'm just gonna say it. Obviously with what has been happening the past few days, it has been very moving and powerful for all of us in response to what's going on in this world. It is important to know that our goal is to not just be professional athletes, but to be the voices of many. The Black and brown women, men, and children who have been victimized and killed by the hands of police. We are glad to be continuing with our games in the rest of the season, but the message still remains the same, that change needs to happen. It's not going to happen right away, but we will never stop using our voices to demand justice. The WNBA stands together and is united as one, and we will never stop fighting for what is right.
Thank you, KB. Akeem Glassby, Akeem, you have anything for Tiffany or for KB?
Yes, guys, just as players, just what's that sense of pride that you guys feel, and just how you guys were able to come together as a league and, again, use your platform to just get across the message of that this injustice and police brutality needs to change, and just be able to, again, to take that day of rest to make sure that your voices are heard.
Kennedy, you want to start?
I mean, like I said, like nothing changes. I mean, we're still going to fight for what is right. And like I said, we are going to continue with our season, but we got to think about like every day that we're doing this for something bigger than basketball. So yeah, as mentioned before, like it's not going to change.
Anything to add, Tiff?
I mean, I read something earlier on Twitter I think Angel tweeted it, about like just being competitors and basketball players. Like it's instilled in us, just because we don't win a championship the first time around, we don't just say, okay, I'm gonna stop working out or I'm gonna stop training. I think it's the same way when it comes to attaining justice. Just because it's not going to happen overnight doesn't mean we're going to stop fighting for it and stop using our voices. I think we're taking the right steps to try to reach some type of improvement, but we're not just going to give up and think things are going to change overnight.
Thank you. Ron, do you have anything for Tiffany or for Kennedy?
Just Kennedy, for you, playing Dallas, is it special to play against them because you were drafted? I see the little smile. Special though?
I feel like it's just like every other game. I mean, I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not, like I said, it's just like every other game. Obviously I started with them, but like now I'm with obviously the Indiana Fever. So I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to win the game, and yeah, just play my best.
Carolyn, you have another one?
Yeah, if I could start with Kennedy. As of late, your offense has picked up.
Mm-hmm.
What has brought that about? What has made you feel more comfortable and confident?
I mean, I think you already said it. Like, I think it's just being confident in myself and knowing that when I step into the game, I just have to be myself. I have to bring energy on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. And if I can keep doing that, we could be really successful. So.
And then for Tiffany, you've had to miss a few games with that risk. Excited to get to see you back on the court today. How's the wrist feeling, and how are you feeling? Kennedy claps about that. Getting back on the court.
I mean, of course, I miss playing and competing with my team, but it got to a point where I had to pay attention to my pain levels, and just kind of it was more a precaution thing. Just didn't want to make it get any worse than what it already was. So I had the time off to heal, and hopefully, try it out today in the game and see how it feels.
I remember you experienced injury when you were in college, and Dawn Staley talked about how it about killed you to not be able to be on the court. But she said also in that process, you learned a mental preparation. And she also has talked about seeing the transformation from you from last season to this season with that mental preparation. What have you done to kind of get as much mentally in shape as you have physically?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to injuries and people telling me I can't play. I always figure out a way that I still can play, which is not always the best thing. But as you get older and you experience, your body's kind of doesn't recover the same. You do have to tap into that mental side. So Coach Staley definitely stayed in my ear in college as far as, everything can't be a physical battle. And that's what I was trying to make it. And I knew, basketball is definitely more mental than physical, honestly. I mean, there's always going to be players that's faster, stronger, bigger than you, but it's the mental side and the other things that take into play that puts you over and makes you a great player. So just my progression over just being in the league, I've experienced a lot from, starting my rookie year or not playing a whole bunch throughout my course of my year, experiencing injury with the fever as well. So my mind and the mental battle has always been a challenge for me, but I think I am in a great place right now and able to deal with certain things, adversity, a lot better than I had before. So this wrist injury was nothing compared to what I've been through before.
Anything else for Kennedy or Tiffany?
Yeah, if I could ask both players just one more question, and that is about Julie Alleman and how she's had to step in at the point, not having, now Erica's not coming back, but throughout the season, how she's held it down in that point guard position. And what have you guys done to help her being her first year in the league?
I think Julie's floor mate, Kennedy, could probably start off best with this one.
She's the same age as me. I think she's a year older than me, but she doesn't play how she doesn't play like the age that she is. You could tell that she's very experienced, and she's been a huge help for us. And even though there are things sometimes where she doesn't really understand, I think we all do a good job of leading her towards what she needs to do, and to always know that to not put that much pressure on herself, because I know it's only her first year, but I always tell her she's doing great, and I mean it's only gonna go up for her. So yeah, I'm glad to have her.
Tiffany, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, just like Carolyn said, she's definitely she's been holding it down for us for real at the point guard position. I think she's been really solid, definitely in the race for Rookie of the Year. Her numbers are great. The things she's doing for us, she's shooting the ball really well from the three. Just everything. We need her on the court, honestly, to be successful. But Julie, she's been doing a really good job this year, and I'm really proud of her. Even through her ups and downs, that rookies go through, she's still been able to find a way to stay solid for us. And like KP said, her career here in this league is just only gonna go up.
Hey, Tamika. We spoke to Natalie yesterday, and she talked about viewing you as a role model, not just as a player, but in the front office and through your businesses and through your community service. Just first off, what does it feel to be viewed as a role model, and what's it feel like just to kind of step back and view the progress that the next generation of the WNBA is making in terms of using their voice and continuing to be leaders and, in the community and just be activists?
Yeah, I'm super proud. I feel like I'm not old, right? But I feel like I'm watching my little sisters grow up. And, I'm just proud of our players, our team, our players, the WNBA, the players overall, all the way down to the coaching staff, the staff that's supporting the staff, and the WNBA, I mean, I can just go down the line of just all the people that have put this together for us to be down here and continue to create change. The last couple of days, I mean, the players kind of hit on it. It's just been super emotional for me personally. Friday, I did, or what is it, I don't even know what today is. I'm like, what is it today? Whatever. Friday, when we took the day of rest, like literally, I'm like exhausted, but proud to be a part of the fight, to be somebody that, you know, especially from that standpoint, and the players that I played with and that have been around me, to be able to be somebody that they feel like as an ally, they feel like, you know, we're working together to create change, to fight for justice for all. And you know, KB, the statement that she just read, you know, like we're all in this together. And I am proud to be here and proud to be in this moment that started 4 years ago, or way before that, but for the WNBA overall. Started, you know, I think from the advocacy and people really fighting 4 years ago. And to see this year how 2020 has just been, I don't know, this has just been a rough year in so many ways. But we're all coming together to fight together.
Very nice. And I just another quick follow-up. You mentioned that, I mean, the WNBA has always been kind of leaders in terms of advocacy and making a stand. But again, with the progress that these current group of players is making, just in terms of being outspoken, and whether it's social media or during interviews, I mean, and just the apparel, you guys are not afraid to speak what's on your mind. Is that a progression that you would have guessed even from 4 years ago, just again to how outspoken that these current group of players are?
I think it definitely advanced really, really fast. And, you know, I think coming into this season, you know, we knew from a player standpoint, I mean, we had a lot of talks from right when, you know, COVID-19, I mean, let's talk about COVID. That happened first, right? And for the shutdown. So right when COVID happened, I mean, our team started getting together and we were having meetings, we were having Zoom calls weekly. And so going into the draft happened, you know, we brought in the new players, and same thing, like just talking, but as we started talking and shifting gears, and George Floyd happened, and we started talking about what would this season look like for our team in particular. It has been amazing, the progress, even from just the thought process from the first meeting we had with our team to where we are today. And, you know, how players have stepped up and how they've chosen to use their voices. Where I could honestly, we first started the conversation, the talks in the room that we had amongst our Zoom call, people they didn't feel comfortable stepping up and talking about it. And now to have not just, you know, our executive, the PA, the Players Association Executive Committee speaking up, and now you're having other players that are coming behind them and using their voice and using their platform and trying to create change. So, you know, I think that, you know, when you look at just the advancement and how fast it's grown, the biggest part is even like thinking about the rallies and thinking about the protests that we went to in Indiana, and continue to see, it's not just Black and brown people. It's all types of people and all types of gender and all I mean, like just down the line, it's diverse, and people want to be inclusive, and they want to, like, we all know that this cannot happen just by this group of 144 players plus all the staff that's around them. That's not just going to create change, but the platform that they have and the way that they're using it and the way that they are, and they're unified, you know, like they're unified in what they're trying to do. And I think that when you have a group of women, let's not even just talk about race, when you have a group of women and I think about my mom, I think our mothers, I think about sisters, I think about me being an aunt. When you have a group of women that come together and that speak and are so strong about what they speak about, that create change, and they get that, and then the ripple effect happens.
Carolyn?
Tamika, you have seen the evolution of the league from as a player to being part of the players union to now being in the front office of an organization. Can you describe for me the the evolution of change and the importance of having people like you now in that upper level of management?
Wow, that's a loaded question, Kim. It has been an evolution, and I think that I'll just speak for myself personally. From being a player and having to lead 143 players, and the decisions that we make with our executive committee and the Players Association affects every single player that's in the WNBA. And then you kind of look and you transitioning to the other side, and now I'm not on that side. I'm not in the rooms when, the CBA negotiations are going on. I'm not in the room with all the things that I have been in the room. And so now it's like you're kind of like a innocent bystander with a lot of information. And what I have tried to do, and I think the thing that probably I'm most proud of, is I've really tried to support not just our players here with the Fever, but even like NECA, Lasia, of the executive committee now, and being somebody that they can bounce ideas off of, and being somebody that, we all want the same thing. At the end of the day, we all want the WNBA to succeed. I wouldn't have played 15 years and been in the league for 16 years and still a part of the WNBA if I wasn't passionate and excited and just like, that comes to me and wanting to make sure that our league succeeds, but wanting to also make sure that these ladies have the platform and that they're using it in a positive way to be able to create change. That's the one thing. You look at all the different things, and it's been really cool because we had a meeting with the coaches and GMs and the staff the other day from the WNBA, and really for me, one thing that I talked about is I was a leader on the player side, and so I always felt connected because all of us had each other's back, and we supported one another. And that was something you could pick up the phone and, talk to whoever it was. But you felt that unity. And, like I just kind of spoke about, like with everything going on the last couple of days, not really feeling like having that support system that I was used to as a player. And now I'm on the front office side. And what do we need to do better from our side to be able to support one another and to be able to know that, it's not Indiana, all the other teams. It's all of us together that create the WNBA, and all the people that are down here, that we're all fighting for this, like we're all fighting for the same thing. And it might come out a little bit differently, but every single team is unified and every single team is united to create change. And the only way that when we leave this bubble, the only way that we continue that is some of our players are going overseas. But for the people that are here and that are into and know everything that the players are wanting and everything that the league is wanting, to make sure that we keep that going and that we keep fighting, and that it never, like that passion never leaves us even when we're finished with this season.
Ron, you have anything?
Coach making the move.
I'm not a coach.
I mean,
I didn't know I'm not a coach. I do not want to be a coach.
No. And I think I asked you that once before 2 years ago. Either would I, by the way. Was it tough trading Stephanie Mavunga? I mean, I talked to coaches and GMs and presidents and, and somebody that's been a part of your team and to make that move. Was that difficult for you?
Oh, my goodness. When I talked to Kelly Koskov before, like even when I was thinking about the job, and she said, Kat, the hardest thing you're going to deal with is you are a super relational person. And the hardest thing you will deal with is having to look somebody that you really, really care about in their eyes and tell them that either they've been cut or they've been traded, or, basically those are the two things. And so for me, it really was, talking to Steph, but and I told her this, I am all about opportunity. And, I look at one of the other players that we had to let go, and she's having the year of her life right now. I don't know if she would have had that opportunity with our team.
Right.
And so for me, it really is about, providing opportunities and for Steph. I mean, she's a phenomenal player. I think she'll be great in our league and she'll continue to grow. She's still young. And, I think situations like this happen and some people give up or want to give up. But for her, I told her, I said, you got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. You're a great player. I think one of the things you have to understand is that Chicago's not the only team that wanted you. And so you have a skill set, excuse me, you have a skill set that people want. And
right.
I wish nothing but the best for her. I think that she'll be phenomenal in Chicago.
One final question for me. I went back and looked at the opening day roster that the WNBA sent us back, in July, early July. And you look at all the players, 3, 4, including Stephanie Mitchell out. How proud are you of the job Coach Stanley has done to take that? And she's never, ever, ever complained about injuries to us. How proud are you of the job she has done this year?
You know what, I am so proud. I learned this a couple years ago, and I don't really want to say the name, but Gino is actually the one that said this. But he said, you play with the players that are here, and you can't worry about the ones that aren't. And Marianne, had done that. Though she gets frustrated, though the injuries continue to come, and news continues to come for Erica Wheeler, she continued to work with the players that we have here. She continues to pour everything that she had into them. And this, we already knew, this is going to be a hard year, making the transition with the coaches, adding new players to the roster, coming to the wobble, which is not an ideal situation for any coach, let alone a first-year coach back in the W. There's a lot of things, and then we got here late, and then we're, trying to catch up. I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong this year. But the one thing that I've tried to do with her is just stay positive. When she starts kind of trying to go down, I'm like, nope, let's look at the things that we have done. Let's look at the success that we have had, and let's continue to build off of that. And, you see that in her. You see the fight. I mean, she's a competitor.
Right.
At the end of the day, you listen to Tiff, you listen to KB, you listen to all of our players. We have competitors, and we just have to go out and compete. She has a system. We knew that she was an educator. She has a lot of plays and a lot of information that needs to get transferred to the players. But, I think that she's done a great job under the circumstances. And, we try not to look at that. I told her that we can't keep looking back. We just look forward.
Thank you, Tamika. Good seeing you.
You too, Ryan.
Stay healthy.
Team got time for one more?
Yeah.
Yes, Tamika, a similar question. Just how would you assess the team's play on the court? What have you liked so far, and what would you like to see improved? And then kind of a second part of that question is, as a GM, and there is that added variable of the bubble in terms of the difficulty in adding players and the quarantine period. Just when you're going through injuries, how hard is all that to factor in when you maybe would like to add a player and can't, and just all the added variables that playing in the bubble presents to a GM?
Yeah, it's been very interesting, not just for our team, but for all teams. And, you saw Bria Hartley go down last night. And so it is one of those things, you keep seeing injuries happen. And from a GM standpoint, I'm just just trying to take care of our team, trying to look around the league, and I want all the players to be taken care of. But when you look at 7 days of quarantine for a player that you're bringing in, and, you need a player now, I need a player today, not in 7 days. The process has been very, very interesting. One change that was made early on in the season was the waiver period. So it used to be a 48-hour waiver period, and the coaches agreed to make it a 24-hour waiver period. So I think that was for allowing some of the players that have, had to move around to different teams and other teams to be able to pick them up, to be able to utilize that. Obviously, for us, we chose 2 7-day quarantine periods. Alicia Jenkins was the first one, and then Kamaya Smalls, who we had drafted as our 3rd-round pick, is back. Tonight will be her first game. So I think for us, it has presented a lot of challenges in a sense, but, it also has my mindset right now. I'm looking at the vision. I'm looking at this year, and of course, what I see on the floor, but I'm also trying to build our team for the future in the next couple of years. And so we have some great players now, and we'll continue to. Myself and the coaching staff will continue to evaluate the players and figure out what we need for the future. But as far as on the court now, guys asked the question about Julie Alamán. I mean, I can't say enough about her. Definitely vying for her to be Rookie of the Year this season, because for her to come in and have to basically take the load of the team and run it, even though she's had experience overseas, her experience with the WNBA, this is her first year, and the way that she has carried herself on and off the court. I mean, she's just a professional. I don't even know, what more to say about her, but the way that she is able to lead the team, to get people, and you know what, I'm not making the comparison to Dawn Staley, but I remember my first time playing with Dawn, and the thing that impressed me the most, I mean, we're playing with Lisa and Cheryl and all the team, but the thing that impressed me the most about Dawn and her leadership was the way that she was able to communicate effectively to everybody, and everybody locked in, like they lined up behind her. She was basically the head of the flock. And you see that with Julie. Like when she speaks, everybody listens. When she's on the floor and she wants people in places, everybody get to their places. And this is just the beginning. So, I mean, I think she'll be phenomenal in her year. You guys talked about Kennedy Burke, what she's been able to do. I think she's really stepped up since Tiff went out. Even before that, she was coming in and giving us quality minutes. She went into the starting lineup against Seattle. Really came out and produced big time. But, we all know, and for those that have played at a high level, it takes a lot to stay at that level. And so one thing for her that I've challenged is consistency. Can't have a great game and then come out and have like now that we know what level you can play at, I expect you to be at that level all the time. Still working with Tiara and Lauren come in, she's giving us quality minutes, Kathleen Doyle. Of course, you got our vets, Candace and Nat, that are, doing a really good job of just the leadership and trying to lead this team through the ups and downs. So it's been really, really good. I'm proud of our team.